we're the most devalued platform as far as price earnings ratio. Um, so let's talk about what happened at the mastermind in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You talked about an option. Like, let's explain that.
Oh yeah, man! Shout out to everybody that pulled up to us in Atlanta in January. We kind of were breaking down this AI revolution.
Hold on, before that, I was going to give you your praise. Maybe call of the year.
Well, we're still going. We're not done yet, and it's interesting. At the time, we were looking at it from a structural standpoint, right? Yeah, everybody knows this company on my chest, right? Everybody knows NVIDIA, but there are hyperscalers, right? And there are companies that are building around this ecosystem. And so we broke it down from a manufacturer standpoint, a company that we should be looking at, which was Celestica. We talked about liquid cooling when we talked about Vertiv, when we talked about Visha, when we talk about energy. And so we're looking at the components of AI that most people aren't keeping their eyes on. And at the time, they all were in pretty good price range, right? And then, January 27th happened, and then it became an even better price range. And so Celestica was a company that we've been talking about, ticker CLS, probably for like 7 months. And I remember being up on stage. Before I went up, I said, Ian, I'm going to talk about this company. You were like, yeah, this looks solid. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I've heard anybody talk about this one yet. And what's interesting about them is they've actually shifted their business model from creating products to actually manufacturing. And so when you look at their client list, it's the biggest hyperscalers in the world, right? Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, right? And if those are your clients, and you look at the revenue and the expenditures that they're going to have for artificial intelligence, this made too much sense. And so we studied the company, we followed the company, we watched them run. If you look at their charts, if you're on your laptop right now, if you're on your iPad right now, just pull up CLS's chart. And when you talk about a mountain climb, this is what you want to look at when you talk about a growth company. And they're just getting started. Like I said, it's a Canadian company. And so the tariffs actually hurt it a little bit when the administration was putting tariffs on Canada. We were watching that carefully. We watched April 7th pull back. But we just kept seeing these clients that they kept getting. I'm like, yo, this company is set to go. Today they had their earnings reports and absolutely blew it out the park.
The water.
Oh my gosh, they're trading up, I think, up plus 20. And so, shout out to everybody that executed on those calls, man. When we wake up tomorrow morning, that market opens, we should see some hefty gains, and that's which is incredible. Like I said, when we talked about this in the class 2 Thursdays ago, this is something that we put right in the session. Like, here's the call, here's what we're doing, here's what we're going to do it at. And so imagine the people who actually watched and executed on that and now seeing gains within 2 weeks. I'm talking maybe some people are going to be up 50 to 60% in 2 weeks. I will beg you to find another asset class that can get you that type of return in 14 days. You're not going to find it.
And that doesn't pull back immediately after as well.
And this is why it's important to understand the power of AI and not just NVIDIA, which is the greatest company of our generation. I'm going to say that, right? Of our generation. There are companies that are partnering with them that are having tremendous runs and have a long runway to go. CLS was one of them. We'll see Vertiv report this week, and we showed a video about how they control liquid cooling inside of their factories. Dell was a company we spoke about when we're talking about the racks. And so when we think about AI and we think about the chips, they have to go inside of a structure. And so think of a rack like the engine, right? So how can a data center run without the engine? And this is what Dell was doing. So as much as we can teach and as much as we can give, we're going to give. The more you execute, the more we give. It's a give-take relationship. So but this is what we're doing.
How much has it gone up?
Over the past 5 years, it's up 2,000%.
How much has it gone up since you called it in the mastermind?
Oh, that's up 300%. So we have a call up 100. We have a 130 call. We have a 110 call, and then everybody last week we put in the 160 call. That one will probably be up about 50% tomorrow. And so like I said, we're in that call until I think June of 26. So we got a whole nother year to let this thing go. Obviously, there'll be some pullbacks, but if the AI revolution, and we can see it's happening everywhere. We're watching AMD go up. We're watching NVIDIA hit an all-time high. It's not slowing down. The CapEx for all these hyperscalers has increased. OpenAI. I mean, this is the moment in time that we won't. I don't know if we'll see this again.
No, so and going back to there's a time every year where there's to buy. April was a generation to buy. You caught it in January. I have it going to a minimum of 202.42. So for those who are thinking, hey, the run is over, I would not exit this position. early because, like you said, given the ecosystem that is being built and the way that tech has retooled to fit AI into their business model, they're going to benefit from it greatly. So I'm going to give you a props. Great call. But I have it going to 202.42.
You know, another company that did pretty well today, Cadence Designs, which is another company we spoke about here. CDNS is the ticker, CDNS. Again, when we went to this conference, and I'm wearing a sweatshirt today from the conference. Shout out to this company here. It's changed a lot of people's lives. We saw these companies, man. We saw these companies, and we saw how they're going to play a role in the infrastructure of NVIDIA's world, right? These people play large parts. And like I said, we'll talk about CoreWeave when it's time. Obviously, he's having this run right now. When it pulls back, we'll break down the business model. But a lot of these companies, again, are they dependent on NVIDIA? Yeah. Are the shoulders heavy? Can they bear it? Absolutely. Absolutely. But there'll be others. There are going to be others as well. So that's what's exciting about the space, is that sometimes when you go on a rabbit hole and you dig and find companies and you see what the purpose is and the functionality of it is, then it makes sense. I always tell people, like, we can tell you what to do, right? But I'd rather show you what the companies actually do so you can have a firm understanding.
And it reminds me of the 90s when Microsoft was the lead tech blue chip, and as a result, AOL emerged, CompuServe emerged, Dell emerged as a leader. NVIDIA is doing the same thing, I think, just at a multiple of 10. And without NVIDIA, I don't think we would see some of these headwinds. So I know some people are comparing NVIDIA to Cisco, and the chart has a parallel, but the difference is NVIDIA has a real business that global leaders want, and it's not going. I just told you guys, in 5 years, every job will be affected by AI, and within 2 years, coders and elite mathematicians will be replaced by coding.
And so if you made money, if Ian made you money, if Troy made you money, not only put yes in the chat, because that's become kind of repetitive. Put like what you actually made money on. So like, say I made money on AMD, I made money on NVIDIA, I made money on
Microsoft. Yep.
Yeah.
We can list.
The options class actually happens every month. So that what I'm speaking about is the master class that happened in January, but the EY University options class happens every single month. And if you held on to any of those, okay, NVIDIA, VGT, AMD, NVIDIA, QQQ, TS, okay, Lilly, VLO, Microsoft, Apple, the answer is everything. Because no matter what you
the record,
no matter what you invested in, you made money, right?